Hey, it's Donovan back with Attention to Detail. In this video, I want to talk about sensitive materials. So, first example here, Ford Explorer mirror cap. You never know when it's a black mirror cap, or you rarely know if it's piano black or not. You want to be very careful with that. Piano black is a plastic material. It's just a molded plastic. It's not painted. It is dyed molded plastic. So with a heavy solvent, you can easily melt that, or over an extended period of time with a light solvent, you can actually stain it. So this piece here, these B pillars, the C pillar, all those little pieces are all piano black. So they have an extreme sensitivity to chemicals, essentially, and abrasion. They're very soft, so we actually like to apply PPF to them so that the chemicals and mechanical abrasion don't hurt them quite as easily. But yeah, before we apply PPF, or if we're not applying PPF, we always need to be very careful with piano black. So that's that. All right, next vehicle I wanted to look at is this old Buick. It's a late 50s Buick LeSabre. This vehicle is one which we would need to be extremely careful with all around. There's no one material in particular that we need to be more careful with than another on this vehicle. Everything is all original except for the interior, and the interior was very expensive to replace and make look like it was brand new. So this type of vehicle we need to be extremely careful with on anything from the chrome to the vinyl top. This was also just replaced. Any small stain in here would be extremely noticeable, and before we deliver this vehicle, we have to make sure this is totally dusted off, dirt-free, because that's how it was brought to us. The paint, we have to be extremely careful not to scratch the paint during the washing process, during our decontamination process. We're doing a paint correction to this one, so when machine polishing, we need to be extremely careful not to go through the paint. These are all things we have to constantly think about when working on a special vehicle like this. To this guy, this is one of the most beautiful vehicles that exists, and if we ruin it in any type of way, if we make it worse in any way, it's ruining his investment and his baby. For a lot of guys, it's their baby. So yeah, keeping in mind the brand new white vinyl top, the irreplaceable chrome that would have to be remolded and made custom. Can't damage that. Don't want to bend it. Don't want to scratch it in any way. And yeah, things like these taillights. This is another great example. I guarantee it would be extremely difficult to find this taillight anywhere, whether it be a junkyard, a custom old Buick parts forum. This would be extremely difficult to find, so we just need to be careful when existing around this type of vehicle. Yeah, we'll move on to the next sensitive material. All right, so the last example of a sensitive material that I have in the shop today is going to be this black plastic material. This particular material on Fords is pretty resilient. However, any black plastic that's not a gloss plastic like piano black has a tendency to suck up compound from when you're polishing next to it. So essentially, if you hit this with a polisher, even lightly, it could easily put a white stain in the black plastic, and that takes a long time to get out. And sometimes if you hit it hard enough, say with a rotary buffer, you can actually leave a burn mark in there, and then it's permanent damage, and you have to actually replace this molded plastic piece. So that being said, there are other materials such as matte film, matte paint, vinyl, PPF, all things that could be affected by the chemicals and mechanical abrasion that you're doing to the paint in a process like an Icon Rock Clear prep or a wash and decontamination to any type of vehicle. So that being said, keep in mind that you have to be extremely careful around those things, and if you're not, you could end up costing the company or the customer several hundred, several $1,000s just to replace panels, pieces of film. All of it's very expensive. It's not necessarily the paint, but it's also what's on the paint. So keep that in mind.